G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east side of the map in the colour purple, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, it's Beastie. And on the west side of the map in the colour teal, playing as the Malians, it's Mido. I would have loved to have zoomed in there, but as you guys do know, I can't zoom in, so just pretend like I've zoomed. I've gone in real close. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pup. Of course, we're here on the pup. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The pup has been doing me tough a little bit recently. I've actually tried to cast this game, like, I'm not even kidding you, 8 times, and I keep crashing, but I think I worked out what it is, and I'm not even going to kid you, okay? So it keeps crashing at the 4-minute 50 mark. So if we make it past the 4-minute 50 mark into the 5 minutes, I'm going to be happy. Now, I don't know if we'll crash after that, so hopefully not. But essentially what happens is Mido is going to be putting some cows. I'm going to spoil it a little bit for you here, break the fourth wall. Mito is going to be, for anyone who doesn't know, Milo is a delicious drink that you can get. Mido, I'm not sure. I appreciate, look, you're probably... I'm not going to even go there. Anyway, he's going to put down some cattle ranches over here. And for whatever reason, whenever the cows get in the cattle ranch, the game just crashes. So I'm probably going to avoid casting Malian games until the bug is fixed, or at least if the devs can confirm, you know, what exactly it is that's causing it, because I've been losing my mind over here trying to work out exactly what it is. So hopefully we get it right this game. But look, I'm going to seem like Nostradamus for the first 5 minutes of this game. I can tell you right now, Beastie's going to be putting down the Tower of Victory. It's going to be right here. Mido's going to be going for the what's he going to go for? The Mansa Quarry. He'll put it right here, 2 tiles away from the town center, so he can fit his farms in. Watch out for that. But hopefully this is all good, and hopefully we don't have too many issues. So there's been obviously a lot of changes to both of these civilizations in the pup. If you're not aware, let me go through them so that we can get you up to speed. Number one, for the Malians. The big thing for the Malians is the way that cows have been changed. So essentially, they now are affected by your food upgrade. So when Mido inevitably builds his mill, I think he builds his mill somewhere around here-ish, maybe on the berries, you're going to be getting food upgrades throughout the game. Fertilization, horticulture, precision crossbreeding. All of these upgrades are now going to be affecting your cows, which means that the base 28 food that they were once receiving begins to approach 40 food per minute for each cow. And that's a significant buff, because it now means that those cows are more attractive, because throughout the game, look at that, Nostradamus Drongo right there, 2 tiles from the TC, Tower of Victory. Oh, there it is, never would have guessed it. So, essentially, it makes your cows significantly stronger. From a cap of 28 food before for each cow, they're up to 40. Now, what does that mean? It also means that you can go for the Farimba Garrison and go into cows, and it's not actually that bad anymore. Also, it means if you do go in for the big cow landmark, aka the Saharan Cow Network. What's it actually called? I can't remember. It's some sort of cow landmark. I can say that much. But the point is, if you do go for it, you're going to be feeling a lot better about yourself, because it's going to mean that that you're getting a little bit more income through. Now, we have got a special guest who's just entered the room. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Baby Drongo. Baby Drongo, how you doing today? That's good. He is doing very, very well. He's breathing and he's touching the microphone. He's having a look at Beastie's base. What do you think about Beastie's base, mate? Very, very good. Mum's trying to tickle him at the moment, but she's not having much luck. He's very attached. Oh, he's attached at the moment to my headset cord. But anyway, Tower of Victory is coming up. We're approaching that time frame now. So the age up comes through from Mido. Thank you very much, Baby Drongo, for the small little cameo. It's been a while since we've had him on. Now, we've got to stay away from Mido's base, but we can stay in it at the moment, because the pastures are going to start coming down. And it's going to mean, so the early game won't really change that much. Now, they did actually nerf cows as well. So there we can see the mill coming down. So they did nerf cows. Oof. So they nerf cows quite a bit, in that with your cows in the early game, the food gather rate is going to be slightly lower. But essentially, they buffed up cows for the collection. So we now start to see those cattle ranches going down, and it's 4 minutes 30 into the game. I'm going to stay away from the base of Mido, and we're going to focus on Beastie, because he's had some changes as well. At least the civilization that he's playing has had some changes. The big one for the Delhi Sultanate is that they now have access to a brand new unique unit that replaces the horsemen. So they no longer get access to the horsemen. Goodbye to the horsemen. And instead, they get access to, if I remember correctly, I think it's called the Ghazi Raider. I'd have to double check that. Look, we're probably going to see it this game, so don't worry. And we've made it past the 4-minute 50 mark. Rejoice, ladies and gentlemen, rejoice. The stable is coming up for Beastie, so I think we will be able to cast this game. Now, the problem that I've got, right, is I don't know what the issue is. I think it's a graphical issue that's causing my crash, and I don't know if that graphical issue will come up throughout the game when Mido's putting more and more cows. So I don't even want to go over that side of the map right now. You know, this is going to be terrible if we get to like 85 minutes into this game and Mido is like, he's throwing down cows, or we're just looking at Beastie's base and it just completely crashes or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to look at those cattle ranches at the moment, but we made it through the hard part. And so I'm going to call that a victory. Let's keep watching, because now we're going to see those Ghazi Raiders. So they're a little bit more expensive. So you pay an extra 10 food, you pay an extra 10 wood. So the proportion of food that you're paying, or of wood that you're paying, is significantly greater than you would for a horseman. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is it's a bad thing. It's a good thing, because the unit that you're getting is stronger, and it actually gives you a way to deal with armored units in the feudal age, which is exactly what the Delhi Sultanate needed. They had a lot of trouble against it, and you know, it was very common. We'd see players go up to the castle age ahead of the Delhi, and they would struggle dealing with whether it was knights or men-at-arms or whatever units that were quite heavy in their armoring. And so we now see with that initial Ghazi Raider coming out. Now let's talk a bit about this. So it's got extra damage. It does more damage than a horseman, and also does extra damage to heavy units. So that's where it comes in. So it's going to have a base of 14 damage. It gets met by Mido's early Donzo that we do see out. So this is significant, right? A lot of people don't really understand. I'm not going to say a lot of people don't understand, but a lot of people don't appreciate just how good this Ghazi Raider is compared to the horseman when it comes to battling against melee units, or rather, I should say, armored units. So before the horseman, how much damage does a horseman do? Does anybody know? I'm gonna guess like 9 damage. I think it does 9 damage. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's 9 damage. Okay, so let's say 9 damage. That's it. And you're up against maybe you get +1, so you're up to 10 damage, and you're up against a knight, and the knight does, oh, he just killed the sheep. You monster right there, Beastie. So the knight does, or has 4 armor. So you're down from 10 damage down to 6 damage. Okay, whereas now, all of a sudden, you're up at 12 with the +2, from heavy, so you're up at 14, and then the +1 from your upgrade gives you 15 against 4, so now you're doing 11 damage. Can you see the difference we're talking about here? You're going from 11 damage versus 6, so basically it's double damage against those armored units compared to where you used to be. So that's a massive buff, and I think part of the reason why the Delhi Sultanate will look to become an S-tier civilization in this new patch. And we can see Beastie managing to go for the walls. Oh, he gets it up. Beautiful timing right there. Scholar already in position. Expect to see that Sanctity. Sanctity's already through. He doesn't actually stand on the sacred site just yet, but up towards the north, he's going to try and draw away his enemy. Do we see any units up towards that position? Mido has a couple units out standing by. He might be able to deny it, but I think the sacred timer has already begun ticking pretty far. I think Beastie will capture at least that first sacred site. The javelins were posturing to try and hit this central sacred site, but it definitely, I say central sacred site, this is actually the central sacred site, and it feels very close to Mido's base. Maybe that's just because he's building towards the center. Now, do I dare go look at the base of Mido right now? I tell you what, let's just quickly look. Okay, he's got 6 cows. That's it. That's all I want to see. I'm just in, I'm out. I'm just like, I feel like I'm Spider-Man, just zipping past a couple buildings right there. But up towards the north side of the map, we do see the scout going to come out. Scholar going to get met by a couple of wolves in the forest. Watch out, but Beastie's numbers here starting to rise significantly. Keep in mind, Mido not even going for a fast castle here. He was thinking a little bit about it. We can see him stacking up the resources. We're 9 minutes into this game, and he's got plenty of gold in the bank. But for the most part, it looks like he will be staying to fight feudal. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we do see a quick castle age come through from him. The Grand Fulani Corral, a.k.a. the Big Cow Landmark, a.k.a. the Saharan Cow Network. That's a good one. That's a good one. We got to stick with that. Anyway, 2 sacred sites at the moment for the Beast. He's very, very happy with his performance so far, I'm sure, as he looks to push in for that 3rd sacred site. But up towards the north side, Mido will neutralize, or at least begin to neutralize, that sacred site. So one thing to note as well is that we've got these... Wait. Did they change the sacred site? Oh, wait. Oh, for my casted games, it still says sacred site on it? I thought they changed it. Didn't they change it so that it's smaller? Ah! Yuck! Get off my screen. Look how big and ugly it is. I just give me the little icon, please. I'm reporting this immediately to the devs. I'm gonna be like, oi, fix this. See, the problem is, and I hate to say it, but the reality is, like, casting and replays is such a small portion of like the user base. that I feel like when it comes to my suggestions, I have no weight at all. I'm like, please make the caster mode like a little bit cooler, and they're just like, sure, Drongo, and then it's like it doesn't get done. I mean, to be fair, we do have caster mode, which I'm eternally thankful for. I don't know if you guys remember what it used to be like casting games in Age of Empires 4, but it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the most fun. But it looks like towards the north side of the map, the Sacred Site did actually not get neutralized. So Beastie's going to be able to hold it for a little bit longer, but we do see the two Donzos just kind of chilling out towards this top side. Plenty of Ghazi Raiders, though, going to be making their way in. And the build-up continues to happen. No one really pushing the agenda just yet. Mido definitely needs to be taking advantage of the fact he's got these javelin throwers here. Maybe parking an outpost or something here on the middle just to kind of hold it down for the moment. He's going to look to neutralize the north Sacred Site. And this is where it becomes problematic, right? Because Beastie's able to hold these two Sacred Sites now. Now, I'd love to be able to zoom in. I can't zoom. I'd love to be able to get you... Oh, there we go. I got you a little bit of a view right there. But unfortunately, the Sacred Site banner is absolutely freaking huge. So we can't see what's happening on the Sacred Site. And there's no way for me to zoom, so I can't even get under it. But the problem that Mido's got right now is that he's kind of going to have to play whack-a-mole with the Sacred Sites. He can come down here. He can bring all of the Donzos and start sieging through this wall. But Beastie's just going to come out and meet him with the archers, so he needs to bring those javelins down. And when he does that, maybe we see a scholar move onto this Sacred Site. So now he's got to come back up and deal with that. And there's constantly pressure building. At the same time, he tries to take that north Sacred Site. Well, then you've got another issue. But a little bit of a raid coming through. We see one villager did go down. Villagers will move back. And the Sofa Warriors are coming out, or the Sofa are coming out, rather. Now, remember, the Ghazis have got that extra damage against the Sofa Warriors. And you can see the Dondos chasing in hot pursuit. Let's check in with Mido at the moment. There's no age up coming through. I'm very scared to go to the base of Mido. I'm honestly... All right, we're 11 minutes through this game. 11 minutes 40. Watch out. Here we go. Okay. If you see a skip in the game... it's likely that I've just begun casting again in a new, how do I say, like a new version of the game, and I will tell you guys that's going to happen. Let's take a look. Okay, so he's got the three cattle ranches at the moment. He's also eating up the food. Managed to expand as well with the pit mine. So there you go. All right, there. We didn't crash. We kept it all together, but Delhi, Sultanate now might be looking towards their own castle age. Take a look at this. Beastie, 27 vills on food. Let's switch it over so you can see the income per minute. 1,300, almost 1,400 food a minute. And Mido, yeah, just having a tough time in committing. I think the consequence of not really putting pressure onto this South Sacred Site is that Beastie's in a great spot now. But remember, both of these civilizations have got really good economies. You've got those extra food, the extra food economy coming in from the cows. And obviously that's going to be met. But look at this. Mido, a little bit out of position here, pushing up, not realizing that Beastie had such a large mass. Javelin's going to be teeing off towards it. If he tries to meet the Ghazi warriors with his Sofa, he's going to be in for a rude shock because these units are incredibly strong, very potent against these armored units. And now we see the Ghazi raiders continuing to clean up, and Beastie going to be pushing out of his base, almost double the military population of Mido at this point in time. And Mido definitely biting off more than he can chew here, going, please, please, please stop. I didn't mean to. It was a prank, bro. It was a prank. But unfortunately, Beastie took it seriously, and he pulled out the Ghazi Raider, carrying their mace. At least they should be carrying a mace. There we go. Hold on. Do they have a... have they got a... they've got a different weapon when they're attacking. Or when they're charging, it looks like, because they're all carrying maces right now. But when they're charging, maybe I should report that as a bug as well. It looks like they bring back out the old stabby stab. You guys shouldn't be stabbing. You guys should be swinging. That's the way we like to see it. And now it looks like this central sacred site will be captured, and Mido are going to be in a bit of a tough spot. At the same time, Castle Age coming through, and to me, it all just comes down to Beastie's control here has been immaculate. Hasn't really had to commit too much, and then subsequently, the third sacred site now going to be taken in the middle of the map. I'd love to see Beastie move up towards this north sacred site, even with just 1 or 2 archers, and slowly begin to start walling it in. All 3 sacred sites now taken, and we're going to get that beautiful message on our screen. You have to defend all sacred sites, and I'm sure we're going to get a message telling us that we probably need to neutralize all sacred sites as well, because, you know, it wouldn't be one without the other. Age Up now comes through for the Beast. Castle Age, of course, is here, and he begins to move 12 villagers over towards that stone. He's got 1,200 in there, so that's going to be 2 keeps, and we start to see village fortresses is on the way through. And now Mido finally going to be putting pressure onto this southern sacred site. At the same time, he was looking to attack the north sacred site, a Sofa with very low health, and unfortunately loses his life as the Ghazi Raider manages to take it out very quickly, and Beastie retains all 3 sacred sites. For the moment. Because the Sofa sits on the sacred site. The Ghazi warriors, the Grand Fulani Corral, going to be coming down over on the other side of the map, and you can see that those numbers for Beastie are really starting to build here. Look at all the upgrades that are coming through for the Delhi Sultanate. We see veterancy on the Ghazi Raiders, veterancy on the Archers, of course. We see herbal medicine coming through, a whole bunch of +2s, your eco +2s, your army +2s. Let's check in with the Grand Fulani Corral, aka Big Cow Landmark, aka the Sultan Hani Cow Network. It is coming. It is happening. They're going to be selling a lot of cows at that network. And you can see that Mido, he's trying to play that whack-a-mole, but there is not a single mole that is going to be able to be whacked here. Mido trying his best. Southern Sacred Site has been neutralized. And now that big cow landmark comes through. So it means that Mido, I mean, realistically, Mido's in a solid position when it comes to the economy. The problem that he's got is that the tempo from Beastie is going to be absolutely huge right now. Not only that, but he's going to be dealing with village fortress keeps, which means that Beastie's going to be somewhat insulated from the late game in the event that Mido wants to take it late. We can see now Mido starts to move towards sofas. Significant amount of sofas that are coming through. Now, these guys have got pretty high health, pretty high damage, but I'm curious to see how the Ghazi Raider stacks up because they do have that extra damage against armored units. On top of that, once they reach veterancy, they get additional. Beastie now throwing that Wallalol out just to show, hey, I've got the relics, just so you know. Beastie with 4 relics in the hand at the moment. 5th and final relic over towards the west side of this map. Looks far away. Beastie might be looking to try and pick it up. Of course, always going to be an option for him. But we do see all 3 sacred sites still held for the moment. 8 minutes on that sacred victory. And look at this, using the archers to clean up all of those deer so that the villagers don't have to do it. He throws down an outpost as well, just because, well, why not? I mean, you're a very safe player. You've got a pretty good lead. It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. He's picked up all of the upgrades on the way through now. We'll be looking for fertilization as well. And a couple of scholars now going to be making their way out onto the field as well. The number of scholars at the moment is 6 for Beastie. Look at the resources. Do we see an Imperial Age coming through from Beastie? Or is he just flexing the macro at this point in time? Definitely starting to struggle with that wood, though. You can see he's only on 37 wood, trying to get more Ghazi Raiders out. Really just going to be sticking with a feudal composition here. Doesn't want to fight until those upgrades come through. And we now see on the other side, it's going to be upgrades coming through for the Musofadi. Of all units, Musofadi are going to be getting their veterancy upgrade. He's already picked up veterancy on the Javelin Throwers, veterancy on the Sofa Warriors. Donzo's not yet hardened. But interestingly, we've only got 4 Musofadi out on the field at the moment. And not a whole lot of armored units, but I guess he suspects that Beastie's going to be moving into armored units somewhat preemptively. We only see the two Lancers out at the moment, and I don't think they're going to be really... Oh, gosh, look at this. Once again, just a single veteran Sofa on the Sacred Site, just going to get annihilated, and all the archers managing to clean it up. So Mido's position continues to decrease in strength, but I think he should be able to hold this one. This one looks absolutely fine. Beastie should be looking for keeps now. There we go. Keep up towards the North Sacred Site. Expect to see a keep on the South Sacred Site, and then eventually a keep in the Central Sacred Site. He might even mix those two up, but we do see it looks like it's going to be neutralized. Beastie holding off pretty well here. Knight managing to hit the base, and we can see he's actually managed to kill a cow on top of this. But hold on a minute. All the Ghazi Raiders going to begin building up as they make their way towards the center. A single tree going to be obscuring our view. We can't move our way around it. Now onto the front line. The Ghazi Raiders have got their increased damage up against these units, and now looking to overwhelm the army of the Malians as Mido looks to try and defend. Javelin throwers teeing off towards the backside, but the army for Beastie is looking absolutely monstrous right now. And Mido on the Malians, he's having a bit of trouble as the Ghazi Raiders continue to tank up damage on the front line. A little bit stronger, definitely a little bit faster. I don't know about harder, but what? Better, faster, harder, stronger? Better. Better was the last one. We were missing better. Definitely a better unit, and it seems to break relatively even, I say, as Mido is 1/3 the army size right now with Beastie. The Central Sacred Site was neutralized, but Beastie going to be looking for a re-up here. Is going to be capturing that. So a little bit of a missed opportunity on the timing there for Beastie. He probably could have held that, but I don't think he was too worried. But now we're going to start to see the elephants on the field. Of course, the elephants have been changed as well. So they've changed the way that the DPS works for the elephants. I don't actually understand it that well. I probably should have studied it a bit more. Let's check in with Mido, though, because there are... Why did he wall the relic? Did he wall the relic just so Beastie couldn't get it, but he keeps the Ville safe inside it? So, you know, he kind of outplayed himself right there. But we do now see Sofa's looking to clean up this raid. Should be able to keep the Villes alive. He's trying his best and manages to get through, so not too bad. But all 3 sacred sites now taken. Big Cow Landmark is through for Mido. And once again, we're being asked to neutralize a sacred site as an objective. There you go, the Big Cow Landmarks. The cows are here, but you know who else is here? It's the Ghazis, the Ghazi Raiders. I'm very tempted to call them the Ghazi Warriors. It's very close. I wonder what Ghazi means. I know that in Afghanistan, there's actually a province called Ghazni province, and I'm very tempted to often say Ghazni, but I obviously don't do that. I say Ghazi, but I guess it's one of those things where you're very close to a word, so your brain kind of defaults close to it. But we see that third keep. Is that the third keep? No, that's the second keep. So second keep is up now for Beastie, adding in farms. Nice little walls towards his top side. We can see the Sofa Warrior did try and get through. Not going to find it today. The numbers for Beastie still building here. Now remember, the Village Fortresses is through. We can start to see that he is looking for keeps on every single sacred site. So we've got 2 keeps, the town center. So that's a total of 3. And he's up here on this large stone outcropping. Surely there's got to be more keeps than this. Am I missing a keep? I might be missing a keep. Nice little raid from the beast. Or rather, on the beast. And Mido holding it strong. Now, have a look on the minimap. The elephants actually appear as larger dots than their counterparts, the non-elephants. But still not actually maxing out on cattle. I think perhaps Mido realizes, you know, we need more units to challenge this. And he's in a bit of a difficult spot, right? Because he needs to go into traps to deal with the keeps. But obviously, when Beastie's got, you know, he's got his acid distillation through, it just makes it so much harder to actually take them down because he's going to have so much stone. But now we see that Siege Workshop where we talked about the prospect of trebuchets. It's going to be under pressure here. I'd love to zoom in on this and watch the elephants in real time. Not going to be able to see it. No Ghazi warriors coming out for Beastie here. He's moving into a massive scholars. Approaching Sacred Victory. 8 minutes to go. And a little bit of a raid coming through from Mido. A couple of sofas heading into the base. Beastie up by about 30 population at the moment. Now we see those elephants heading down towards the south side. The relic locked behind the palisade walls. Villagers out on this gold mine. Looks like they're going to be making a bit of a run for it. There's no scout here, so they should be able to escape. I suspect the line of sight here from Mido, or from Beastie, isn't the best, yeah. So he doesn't actually see those vills run out, but of course the sacred sites are still ticking. He's got the 3 keeps down on these central sacred sites, and will now be looking to add even more keeps. And remember that each one of these keeps acts as a town center, so he's going to start really building up on that eco number. But now, Mido going to be looking to try and take advantage of the pressure that Beastie is putting out here. There's plenty of archers up here. The sofas should be able to clean them up, but the problem that you're going to have are these elephants. How do you deal with these elephants? I don't even know. They've got 7 armor, and javelin throwers have got 11 ranged, or 11 damage. So, I mean, you're doing 4 damage a pop here. It doesn't really feel that effective. I think the best answer is probably just spears, right? I think that's probably the way to go. Spears are obviously going to be doing extra damage against the elephants. Should be able to cut through it. But Beastie now on the backside, going to be developing, I'm not sure exactly what I was trying to say there, but defending this little corner. And I think Mido realizes, you know what, we probably can't do it. We do see what appears to be some siege on the map, but it's going to be a trebuchet. He'll begin working down that keep in the center of the map, and you can see he's safely tucked behind the walls. And now that push going to be coming in. Mido looking to try and defend. He's picking off these ranged units here. Doesn't have a whole lot of Dondos out on the field at the moment, though. Only 10. So double digits barely. We can see them meeting the front line, but look how quickly they just get eviscerated here. The elephants, the war elephants, just stampeding over this, barely taking any damage. He's got the scholars in there as well. Only 3 scholars, but Mido's lost a whole bunch of units. You can see them all going down, where Beastie's only lost a handful. And now going to be putting some pressure on those cows. Obviously, the big cow landmark is a massive threat. If you can take out the pastures, or rather the cattle ranches, and then put, I really want to stay away from those cows. I don't know if there's going to be a rendering issue, so we'll try and watch it. I'd zoom in if I could, but obviously I can't. So we're just going to have to watch it like this. I do apologize. I don't want to go anywhere near those cows. I've got PTSD. I probably shouldn't joke about PTSD, but you guys get the point. I'm very scared of the game crashing right now. I don't want it to happen. Only one of those elephants even close to dying, and obviously the scholar's going to be able to heal it up, and now a couple more. Now remember that the elephants actually do extra damage against cavalry. We see 27 damage with 40 versus cavalry on those spear attacks. And now a keep going to be put down on this south side. Beastie going to be forcing Mido off the large gold vein. Beastie already has access to the gold vein, the larger gold vein on the north side. Sacred site timer still ticking, down to 5 minutes. Couple of springs going to be moving forward here. Ghazi Raiders did come out, not going to be able to find a connection with the trebuchets. In fact, going to be finding a couple of Sofa warriors instead, but now Beastie manages to get the counterweight trebuchets pressured right now, and I don't think Mido realizes, loses the first one. Sofa's just kind of idling by the same time towards the corner of the map. Still, these stampeding stampies are just alive, living their best life. It looks like the first one might finally go down. He's up to 7 ranged armor. Villager's going to be coming out here, but unfortunately for Mido, I don't think they're going to be having the best story. And you can see, oh my god, the elephant survives. It's on 15. It's on 16. He's healing it up with the scholars behind. The war elephant lives. All 3 elephants still alive. And good game gets called. Mido knows it's all over Red Rover. He's got no access to gold and not a chance at this game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure casting this game. If it wasn't for the crashes, I would have been a bit more pleasured. But go check out Beastie. I'll leave a link in the description, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.